As Trump orders NASA to purge all mentions of women in leadership on its websites. So when I first saw this headline, I went to research it a little further and check multiple sources, which we should all be doing for every topic. I'm looking at you, MAGA. Not many people are reporting on this at all, so I was questioning its validity, although I know that this administration, that's absolutely something they would do. So then I Googled NASA women and I saw Women's History Month on nasa.gov. When I clicked on it, this is what I found. Surprise, fucking surprise. Here's another article that says NASA employees were required to drop everything and remove a list of words from public-facing websites, including Indigenous people and anything specifically targeting women, women in leadership, etc. So here's what we're not going to do. We are not going to let women's history or any history die under this administration, okay? So we are going to talk and learn about the women in NASA, especially the first women in NASA. In 1935, the first set of human computers were hired at NACA. It was NACA before it was NASA. Because computers didn't exist yet, they had to do mathematical equations by hand, which is insane to me. So of course, this was mostly made up of men, or all made up of men, until World War II happened and they had to go fight overseas. So women had to swoop in and fill their roles, and of course, African-American women soon followed. Of course, Black women swoop in to save the day, but they're still treated unfairly and they are segregated and they are in a different computing area. And there's a movie called Hidden Figures about this, which I 100% need to watch. So there was a memo passed around stating that the engineers admit that the girl computers, the women, do the work more rapidly and accurately than they could. So the women computers were becoming increasingly more valuable and doing incredible work along the way. So here's a few women that we should know about. The first woman hired by NACA was Pearl Young in 1922. She was originally hired to the Instrument Research Division, which designed, constructed, calibrated, and repaired virtually all instrumentation carried on aircraft. She quickly became an integral part of the organization and revolutionized the way technical manuals and papers were written and dispersed. And here is Pearl. Here is Kitty O'Brien. She was the first engineering student to graduate from University of Virginia and the first female engineer at NACA. We have Catherine Pedro. She joined in 1943 and was originally hired as a chemist until NACA found out that she was African American, so they sent her to the West Area Computing Unit, or that segregated unit. She spent over 40 years at NACA/NASA in Instrument Research Division. So then we have Dorothy Vaughan. She was originally a math teacher, but heard that NACA was recruiting and she jumped at the chance to be a part of that. And she became the first African-American manager at NACA as section head of the West Area Computing Unit. We're still talking about Miss Dorothy. When NASA was created in 1958, she joined a different unit and became an expert at the computing language Fortran. She even taught male engineers how to use the computers. Love it. This is Mary Jackson. She joined NACA in the West Area Computing Unit in 1951. By 1953, she joined a group working on the supersonic pressure tunnel. And while there, she was encouraged to become an engineer and go to school at UVA. But she actually had to receive permission by the city of Hampton, Virginia, to attend UVA to become an engineer because it was segregated at that time. But in 1958, she became NASA's first African-American engineer. Then we have Katherine Johnson. She joined in 1953. She worked for the West Area Computing Unit, but she was the first woman in the division to receive author credit on a paper titled Determination of Azimuth Angle at Burnout for Placing a Satellite Over a Selected Earth Position. Her work was directly related to the space program as she analyzed flight trajectory and landing for multiple flights. And she would actually double check the computer's math to ensure that trajectory and landing was correct, which is mind-blowing. So thank you to all the amazing women of NASA. And again, we are not letting women's history die. Surprise, surprise, Trump orders NASA to purge